Welcome to episode 9, World on the Fly. Yeah, this is the world. Why it's on the fly is because there's no editing. And I'm just here as an anonymous person. And I'm trying to keep that anonymity as intact as I can because what is important is the information that I'm trying to pass on to anyone who's got the time to listen. And I've been incidentally doing this myself for a long time as my major source of activity on this planet. Apart from that, I do plant trees. I like planting lots of trees. We're going to talk about that later. But that's enough music. Okay, that's the introduction over. Okay, back to serious stuff. And we left you last time in the middle of Algeria, where I had zoomed in. I can't remember where it was, on some town in the middle of Algeria. That there's desert. That's right. It was near there. Could that be it? Yes, this is another similar town. And I find it fascinating when you zoom into these towns in the middle of Algeria, you always get the only plant that's left from, I call, the Great Destruction over the last maybe 9,000 years since the beginning of civilized constructions, monumental architecture it's known as. That means buildings that you don't live in as well as buildings that you do live in, which incidentally nowadays are only constructed of mud bricks. And there are some mud brick houses for you right in the middle of nowhere. They do have some bitumen too on the road there now because of the oil industry in the last 70 or 80 years or 100 years. And notice that the roads in Algeria lead through the desert. There's a road. We're going to follow this road, you see, until you get to another town. All the towns in Algeria are along the roads because that's all that's left in Algeria. There's a mountain that used to be covered with trees. I'm saying that, you know. You will probably disagree. Universities disagree. People all over the world disagree with my hypothesis that these areas of devastation along this road in Algeria were once upon a time heavily forested and green. And we're not talking about Ice Age here, you know, tens of thousands of years ago. We're only talking about maximum 10,000 years ago, more like 8,000, because there were two kingdoms in Egypt, the Old Kingdom and the New Kingdom. I may be wrong on this, but let's look it up. The Giza, pyramids of Giza. I think they are only the New Kingdom. And we can look it up, Great Pyramid. It will tell you whether it's the New Kingdom or the Old Kingdom. I'll just go find on this page, Kingdom, New Kingdom, Middle Kingdom. There you go. Here we go. Look, this is interesting. Although succeeding pyramids were smaller, pyramid building continued until the end of the Middle Kingdom. However, the authors, blah-de-blah-de-blah, all the pyramids were robbed by the New Kingdom when the construction of royal tombs in a desert valley, now known as the Valley of the Kings, began. There you go. I can click on New Kingdom there. And there is the New Kingdom of Egypt. Let's get a date on that. New Kingdom between 1570 BC and 1544 BC. Okay, so what about oh look, there's a second and the third intermediate kingdom. There's a lot of dynasties. Look, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th dynasties of Egypt. I wonder when the first kingdom was. That's what we need to know. Blah, 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 blah. Let's type in first kingdom. Egypt. First kingdom. Here you go. First kingdom. See, everything that you need to know is on the internet today. Oh, did you mean first kingdom? Maybe they didn't call it the first kingdom. They just called it. It was a long time ago anyway. I should get a date on that. The first kingdom, ancient Egypt, original. Maybe I'll put original. Oh, first kingdom. That's what FIRST. First kingdom. Kingdom of Egypt. Egyptian kingdom. Oh no, that's not it. That's only recent times. That's only recent. Ancient. That's what I'll just put in. Ancient. You can do this too. You just won't do it. See? Well, yeah. I've got a friend who's whose place I make these things at, he doesn't do this. And but that's why I'm doing it, so people don't have to do it. They can just watch this. Ancient Egypt was a civilization of North Africa, right? It concentrated along the reaches of the Nile River, blah, blah, blah. Prehistoric Egypt, followed prehistoric Egypt. Aha. Let's look up prehistoric Egypt. The prehistory of Egypt spans the periods of early man, early dynastic periods of 3100 BC, okay? That's when it started. So that's when they first started roaming around in the Algerian desert. They were roaming around all this area before they started building the pyramids, you see. And in the end, they squished it all down here to the Nile Valley, which is the only place that people live in a fertile area. And if you go in here, you can see that they grow other things besides date palms in here, right? They can grow crops in here. See, those aren't date palms. And there's a lot of towns. These are towns. Everyone squished themselves into here, see? Squished into that little strip. Whereas out in the desert, only date palms will grow. I'm saying it was all green. And not only that, all this was green too. So abstraction is what started leading to this, because when man started herding, and then when he herded, he needed to stop the cattle, and then he started building permanent dwellings. Eventually, he became more interested in the products of his own hand than the things around him from which he took the materials to create those products, like the forests and the animals and everything. So he just did willy-nilly whatever he thought to do. And he didn't have Google Earth to look to see the destruction that he was wreaking. And a lot of people today don't want to know this. They want to hide away from it. You see, they say, well, so what? There's still places to go. There's still some natural places in the world. But I want to say the opposite. I want to see a lot of natural places in the world and only a few man-made places. Why does it have to be that man has dominated everything? Because he never can do as good as what the original natural environment could do. And why I say that is because the natural environment is way ahead of what anything man has ever done, because it's been going for a lot longer. And as soon as we started getting control of it, it's only 11,000 years. And look what we've done in 11,000 years. Episode 10 will be how we began very slowly to move from the herding through to the building of permanent structures, and how it changed the way we behave towards nature and each other. Won't that be interesting? See ya.